are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat ma'asot et haShabbat ledorotam berit olam ledorotam berit olam. Between me and the people of Israel, Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat na'asot et haShabbat ledorotam berit olam ledorotam berit olam.
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz.
For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat ma'asot et haShabbat ledorotam berit olam ledorotam berit olam.
Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayhi nafash.
And on the 7th day God ceased from work and was renewed. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat ma'asot et haShabbat ledorotam
Have you been longing, waiting, searching for a radically inclusive, vibrant, emergent, sweet, traditional, non-traditional, musical, welcoming Jewish space to go deep, to sing, to eat, sometimes to fast, to remember, to heal, to play and to pray in?
Welcome to Micah.
An everybody-friendly, inclusive, multi-generational spiritual community where innovation drives our explorations into and celebrations of Jewish life. A congregation where people of all ages seek to build community and help prepare the world.
Judaism at Micah. Experience it in person or online. For a full list of our services and programs, like us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and visit our website, congregationmicah.org. Shalom Aleichem, may peace be upon you. Hey, Rabbi Flip, were the 80s as radical as they sounded?
You mean because now it's the Hebrew year 5783?
No. I mean the 1980s. You'll have to forgive me, but I wasn't born yet.
Bueller?
The 80s were totally rad. I mean, fully bodacious. And sometimes the music transports me back to this one gnarly wild Shabbos night in 1987.
Well, I'm just asking because of what's happening here at Micah on Friday, November 18th.
Oh, well, what's that?
Well, whether you fondly remember the music of the MTV era or are new to discovering the magic of that time, this is one Shabbat you should not miss. We're taking some of the most fun, familiar, biggest hits from the 80s decade of pop anthems and setting that music to our regular liturgical prayers.
Like, Totally Tubular. Everyone dust off your boom boxes and get your hair permed for a totally awesome 80s Shabbat. Costumes encourage. It's gonna be a real Rubik's Groove.
Hey.
Available in person and online.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Micah, an everybody-friendly congregation. Cantor Josh Goldberg joins me, Rabbi Flip. Each of you in here, in person, all of the people watching virtually, on a journey through our liturgy. Songs and prayers that tell the story of the Jewish people. All voyages require a certain courage if some of the technology doesn't work, or the sound, or if we try something this evening, spiritually or otherwise, that's new and it fails. Consider the confidence it takes to travel anywhere, to go forth from where you live, to leave behind your home and belongings, your routines, your very culture, everything that you know, and try to experience something totally new. That is what our oldest ancestors, Avram and Sarai, did. They left everything behind and they traveled to the land of Israel. You too can take the pilgrimage of a lifetime with Cantor Josh this summer if you're brave enough.
Oh, that was a good advertisement, I think.
The journey that our ancestors took was a voyage that was fraught with peril and overcome by faith. With Cantor Josh, you get to stay in really nice hotels. A few milestones to mark on our journey this evening. Since the destination that our patriarch and matriarch were traveling to was Israel, I want to mention up front that while a Netanyahu-led coalition government does not align exactly with progressive Jewish values, we are lucky enough to live in a time where there is a state of Israel that conducts free and fair elections. And it was, in fact, on this day, November 4th, back in 1995, that Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated. So given we live in Nashville, I think we could describe the event almost like Don McLean would. It was the day the music died. However, with our own midterm elections set to take place, we think it better to dig deep into the well of optimism and instead to pray for better days ahead. So a few centering moments, because it's Shabbat, a few breaths before we officially begin to tell the story. You guys breathe in and breathe out. You keep doing that. Later this evening, some very brave souls on a journey of entertainment will join us in our social hall. We honor them right now. If you are in our Micah's Got Talent show, you're going to light our Shabbat candles. Please come up here. Everyone else is still breathing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Stick around after services in the social hall to hear from these talented folks.
Let's keep warming up with a little Dodi Lee if we could.
This is a little throwback to country Shabbat. Dodi Lee Vani Lo Aroe Bashoshani Dodi Li Vani Lo Aroe Bashoshani Mi zotola min hamidbar mekuteret mor ulevona ואני לא הרואה בשושני ליבבתיני אחותי חלה אורי צפון ובואי תימן דודי לי ואני לא בשושני הרואה בשושני.
We rise together for the words of Hatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ביעלמה ואמרו אמן. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 barechu את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We invite you to take your seats. So when Abraham was a boy, he lived in a place called Ur. And by all indications, Ur was a busy city. Like on ordinary days, people worked and parents took care of their children. And then on holidays, all work would stop and people would put on their nicest clothes and they would go to the great temples to pray to their gods. The people of Ur believed that there were many gods, each with a sort of separate job in the world. So there was one who looked after the rivers, and a different god who sort of took care of the earth, and there was a god of fire and a god of rain, god of growing things, and on and on. You know, we Jews, we don't pray to multiple gods. So how could Abraham, the first Jew, been a part of this city of many gods? We're going to answer that question along the way. For now, we're going to affirm our belief that he eventually really imparted upon us the belief in the oneness of all things, the watchword of our faith, the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed. And you shall love Adonai with all your soul and all your might. And teach these words through day and night to all your children, for it's their right. And wear them proudly as a sign upon your hand, and as a crown above your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates throughout all time.
So Abraham and Sarah, we know, were not born Jews. When they were children, they probably prayed to the gods of Ur, like their friends and relatives did. So when did they stop? Like, how did they come to believe in one God? How did Abraham and Sarah become Jews? Yeah. The Torah doesn't say. In fact, we know nothing of their lives before they were in their 70s, which is about the time that they stopped praying to the gods of Ur. About the younger Abraham and Sarah, the Bible tells us only where they lived, names of some of their relatives, that they lived for a long time, and they didn't have children. So how do we know that the people of Ur really prayed to many gods? Maybe they never did. Maybe Abraham and Sarah never did either. We know because of these things called archaeologists who discovered a place that they believed to be Ur. And they were lucky. They found a lot of artifacts. And among these discoveries were clay tablets with writing on them. And some had some lessons for school on them, and some others ones had prayers on them. And a few of them told stories about these other gods. Now, they didn't tell us how Abraham and Sarah became Jews. We still don't exactly know how Abraham began to believe in one God. But what we can do is read the other stories and imagine ourselves what might have happened. Because our rabbis created these things called historical legends, right? They're legends because they're stories that are likely made up, but they're history because they probably happened to real people or about real things. So we have, for instance, little to no proof that the Exodus ever happened. But what we at Micah realize is that the journey that matters the most is the power of telling the story and of singing the songs. So we're going to sing a song about journeys now. It's a song that matches our Torah portion. Please join us.
Lechi lach to to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to a place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim. Lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
We have arrived at that portion of our service this evening in which we like to stop on the journey and pause and make sure no one's seasick, that everyone knows where the exits are, and should an emergency present itself, to help yourself to your oxygen mask first. No, we like to pause and really check in and see what's going on and share a little bit of the joy that Shabbos is supposed to bring us. And the way we do this is we ask people who are celebrating something, especially if they are brief and articulate, to share that thing with us so that we can enjoy and have that laughter and celebration. Now, I know something that's happened in our community, and I think the couple that is experiencing some joy should just come up here real quick and stand here for a second. Just don't pause, because it's like we miss the next train and the whole thing gets off the course. And stand right over here. Look cute. I'm going to get to them in a minute, but does anyone else have something that they are celebrating, perhaps? A birthday in it? What do you got, Scoob? Oh, what a fantastic thing. No, it counts because the sun is set, so we're going to celebrate you now in Judaism. The day has begun. I see you have your children with you. What a blessing that is. Well, thank you for coming this evening and for celebrating. Round of applause, please, for birthday. Anybody else got something like that? Yeah, what do you got? Okay, you should come stand here, too. We're doing a whole couple thing now. Oh, just do it. Don't pause. You know, nobody sits, by the way, in the front rows. The place is packed, if you're watching. What do you got over there? Oh, where's your uncle, Alex? Oh, where are you visiting from? Asheville, yeah. I've heard of it. So, are you here for the big performance?
He's performing.
Oh,
he's
really?
Part of the
You're in it, too?
Krakauer family band.
I didn't see that whole crowd up here for the candles, though. Pretending to be introverts. Blessing to have you here. Thank you for joining us this evening. Wait till tonight. It's going to be awesome. Someone else celebrating something? Nobody? What do you got? What do you got, Emily? Oh, come on. Why do you have to pause? Just you have to. Please rise, row 4. Coming on up. Come on, I did their wedding. All right. Sure, come on. Come. Yes. I said come on up. Now, this couple here just got married, didn't they? Everybody go, aw. Aww. So, in honor of love, we say Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu. We ask this great power in the universe who blessed all of our ancestors before us, Elohei Ahava, the very God of love and joy. Bless all of you on your journeys as they begin and continue, as we remember them, as we celebrate the many anniversaries along the way. May you continue to have many happy memories together and to create them. And may that same God remind you to share them with all of us, bringing more joy and more happiness into all of our lives and all of our Shabbats. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu malach shechechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Everybody says,
Amen.
We thank this great power in the universe that created us and that helps us along the way and that enables us to reach celebratory and happy moments like this one. That wasn't so hard, was it? Okay, good. You guys can go back and sit down. Thanks for playing.
Mazel tov. All right, now we all get to rise for our Amidam. Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi yagir, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi yagir, Tehilatecha. Please continue silently. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki hata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki hata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
The names on the list in front of me include Penny Enton and Joyce Monk, Victoria Cohen and Yvonne Fox, Wayne Ritt, Marta Errett, Rusty King and David Raguson, Ezra Cohen, Guy Chertisky, Courtney Steck, Stephen Bender, Larry Hyatt, Wayne Lewis. But there are others, people you may know of that you're close to, as we have a ride here at this moment when we pray for those people in need of healing. So if you're thinking of someone and you'd like to say that now, we'd like, of course, invite you to do so.
Ana Elna Refanala Ana Elna Refanala Okay, I'm going to say something that's instantly going to make a number of you very happy. There's no sermon tonight. I know we're all anxious and excited to hear our talented performers after services, so I'm going to invite you all to stick around. I am going to share a short drosh, a perspective on the Torah portion we call Lech Lecha, meaning to go forth. I mentioned earlier that most of the stories that we hear about Abraham and Sarah I figured there'd be kids tonight. And both the Torah and the later narratives in the Talmud stress their roles as innovators, right? They are the parents of the Jewish people. They're the first monotheists. There are stories about how they arrived upon this intellectual and sort of spiritual discovery of one God. The belief that behind the sun and the moon and the stars and the wind and the storms, and that there was this one power that united all things into sort of a coherent whole. There are also stories that recount to us that their revolutionary ideals, there's sort of new concepts, they were not so well received by the other people who lived in the city of Ur. Abraham's father, Terach, he wasn't so excited either. Such stories suggest that it was not just because of God's call, but also because of their neighbors and their resentment they had, the fear of these new ideas. And in at least one of these stories, they leave for Israel one day ahead of a lynch mob. It seems we have been fleeing persecution and those who don't like us and our ideas from the very start. Such tales cast Abraham and Sarah as people we can identify with, especially when we're young. Their parents didn't understand them. They had their own ideas. They had to set out on their own journey and discover their own truths. That's not exactly the whole story, right? I shared on High Holy Days from this pulpit that it was Abraham's father Terach who had already started out for the land of Israel. But why did he leave Ur? Maybe Abraham learned from his parents that he led on. Maybe he had learned more than he led on, more than we maybe previously imagined. The Midrash states that it was because of his idolatry that Terach was unable to complete the journey. He couldn't go the distance. But he did succeed in transmitting to Abraham a passion for the journey. Abraham and Sarah were able to break through the limitations of their parents. What parent doesn't hope that their children have the opportunities to do things and be things and see things that they themselves never could? Well, Abraham and Sarah had some different ideas, but they were actually building on what they had experienced as children. A willingness to adventure, a desire to go and see new places. Usually if I ask teenagers, including my own, whether they think they're going to grow up and be like their parents, I don't always get a very positive response. But as young people grow older, those lines of continuity in their lives, they seem more important. And in ways we don't always understand when we're younger, the teachings of our parents actually lay the groundwork for the journeys that we will eventually undertake. So here at Micah, we do our best to honor our ancestors by continuing the journey and by continuing to innovate, just as they modeled it for us. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, we are going to think about those people who still touch our hearts and our lives. If you are here observing a yard site, when I say the name, I'm going to invite you to rise. And at the end of reading all of these names, those who died recently, as well as those whose anniversaries of their deaths occur, I'll invite everyone to rise together, and as a community, we'll say Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. The names on my list include Ada P. Rosen, Bessie Jacobs, Doris Hall, Dr. Sidney S. Rice, Edie Seitlin, Eleanor Naftal, Emery Monroe Schofner, Eris Dimple Crystal, Erna Schwartz, Israel Samueli, Joan Tarr, Lillian Weissman, Lorraine Emilio, Marlene Frajman Karp, Melinda Tiger, Morton Goldberg, Henry William Wolkoff, Myron Lindenthal, Philip Hershkowitz, Sarah Schwartz. We continue to mourn for Gail Provenzer Simmons, Gail Denise Himmelfarb, Stephen Joel Dubin, J.J. Amsel, Sheldon Grossman, Barbara Brooke, Walter P. Stern, Arnold Hyatt, Marvin Oakes, Jerry Ellie, Deborah Siegel, George Hahn, William Bill Drongowski, Stanley Felix, Roland Terry Hill, Kathleen Guccione, Frank Parker, Bertram Humboldt Chalfant Jr., Steve Geringer, Philip Ginsberg, Margaret Friedman Vaughn, Irving Deutschman, and Thomas Glynn. If there's any names I've neglected to mention you'd like to say aloud as you rise. We rise together for the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei. B'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. We ask, as always, that the source of peace send peace to all who are mourning, comfort to all who may feel bereaved. We say one final time together.
Amen.
Okay, we sit briefly. I got a whole list of announcements. It's longer, I think, than my little drosh. Okay. Torah study happens tomorrow morning. Oh, but that's not with Rabbi Lily Goldstein. It's actually with me. She's next week, though. We do have Mahjong that continues to happen on Tuesdays at 12:30 here in our social hall. Schmooze and Views. Come share your opinion. We got elections. It's going to be spicy. Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. The adult B'nai Mitzvah class is happening. There is critical mass. If you want to be a part of it, you should get in touch with Rabbi Lori. Classes are starting very soon. Room at the inn. Okay, here's the thing. The COVID, I can't declare it over, but the volunteering needs to ramp up again, okay? So we are hosting, we always do, a men's shelter here. It only happens once a month. It's easy to sign up. We do need people to be a part of that. You can email Shannon Alpert. You can get in touch with our office for questions. There's an email blast link. You can go to our website. We need people to continue to be supportive and get that going. Micah's Got Talent. That's happening right after services. Yeah, stay for a nosh and support your Micah family. It's going to be epic. Okay. We got new groups starting to strengthen the glue of our community. And if you are a small business owner, we know that can be challenging. You don't have to do it alone because other congregants own small business. So this Sunday, November 6th, here on campus at 10:30 a.m. in our social hall, there's going to be some coffee and conversation and some connections. If you can't attend, you still want to be a part of the group, you can get in touch with us. Right now, I have on my list that Dan Grossman and Jenny Abrams are spearheading the event. What else do I got? Ooh, here. Ooh, dramatic. For the sake of argument, we want to teach you how to argue. On Sunday, November 6th, online, Jewish Federation will be hosting an interactive Zoom. Abi Dauber-Stern is the author of this book, Stories for the Sake of Argument, and he'll cover how to talk to your kids about Israel. He'll talk about how to navigate different opinions, how to have healthy arguments really about it. The event is geared toward parents, but really anybody's welcome. And there will be a screening here, so you can sign on from home or you can come here and be a part of the conversation from our Zoom room in the chapel. Okay, next we have, why don't you tell them?
All right, so this Sunday is the first ever Jewish music festival happening in Nashville. It's called Jam Fest, Jewish Arts and Music. It's Sunday from 12 to 5, so if you're at religious school, just head on over after religious school. Or if you're not, just head on over to the JCC. And it also coincides with the Kosher Hot Chicken Festival. So you can get some kosher hot chicken and listen to some music, and I'll be performing at 1 o'clock on the main stage. So hope to see you there. It's going to be fun.
Our book club continues. Micah Reads, November 7th at 7 p.m. online. You can also mark your calendars. Cue the laughter. Because we got 80 Shabbat coming, and it's going to be out. totally tubular. I don't know how to describe it.
You were alive
I'm
then,
not
I
going to say.
wasn't.
I'm not going to say anything else. It's November 18th. Be here. We of course would love for you to follow us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got TikTok going. Follow us and know what's going on. That's one of the best ways. More details of all of these programs also available on our website. We're going to invite the congregation to once again please rise for a kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'asei v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. We could do a little motzi too, because we've got nosh that we're offering for those who want to come to our talent show.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Please join us in the social hall. You will not be disappointed.
We've got pub subs. Hear that, Eva?